Had to get the homecoming proclamation up there on campus with the mayor.
All right, it's homecoming week, Coach. You want to give us a little preview of Indiana State and then take some questions?
Yeah. Homecoming week is always just got back from doing the being with the mayor and Coach Kill, just announcing that it's homecoming week. So I know there's a lot of excitement. There always is with homecoming. Being an alumni myself, people coming back, and just the amount of work that people on campus trying to create a great atmosphere here. I know everybody's excited for. I know that we have a big part to play in that. The football game is what kind of brings everybody together, and I know what it means to go out there and play well and give them something to celebrate on Saturday, and we're excited about that opportunity to do it against a good football team in Indiana State. It's a team that's improving. That has stuck to their plan and gotten better, and that's evident watching them on film. So it's a great challenge in front of us. We've got a lot of things that we've got to keep correcting. Obviously, coming off a tough loss as we had last Saturday, we got to get back and get back to playing the football that we know that we can play, and we've got to take advantage of every opportunity we get, and this Saturday is no different.
Will you have the opportunity to have Jason Seaman talk to your team at all? Is that in the plans?
Yeah. We've back when they were originally were wanting him to do this, I got a hold of him and had him back. He was on the sideline with us at Ole Miss too. But yeah, we'll definitely have him. I know him and his family will be here, and we always have on Friday all the alumni that come in town get a chance to talk to the team. But we'll have a special time for Jason to talk to him as well.
Nick, with all the injuries, I mean, you try to keep everybody moving forward and keep as good an attitude as you can through these tough times because of all the guys you don't have at your disposal. Does that start with your coaching staff? And what I mean by that is you have to make sure that you guys are selling the same thing to your team as you go along.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's it's number one as the staff. The kids are gonna watch how we are in the meetings. I've told them that numerous times. They'll never hear us talk about like, well, man, we're so banged up, or I mean, I saw. I've always said that nobody cares. They really don't. I mean, Indiana State doesn't. It's all about results. I've said that over and over, that this game is going to create injuries. We probably have more than most, but that's our job. That's what we get paid to do, and that's what is to get the next guy ready, to coached up to go out there and play and give us a chance to win. And that's what we'll continue to do with a good attitude, with great body language, and come out and practice and coach and do everything in our power to do the best job that we can, and that's what we'll continue to do. And we just got to keep working with there's different injuries. We'll get a couple guys back. We'll lose a few more, but we'll line up on Saturday with the confidence with the guys that we have to go out there and play well.
What is DJ's injury, and will he play? Yeah,
DJ will play, bruised knee, so probably be limited quite a bit in practice. So he'll be, he was yesterday limping around a little bit, wasn't in, but able to get in the pool, and nothing structural or of significant injury. It'd just be a pain tolerance thing.
Do you think you get Jacob Martin back this week as well?
He'll be doubtful. There's still a little bit of swelling in that knee, and he hasn't even started his running progression yet. I keep saying that. I mean, when Martin's ready to go, he'll play. From his wrestling background to he's really never missed a practice or a snap here, and he wants to play football. And just still some swelling in his knee, and whenever he can get that out, then he'll be ready to go. Hopefully, we'll get him back though at some point this season.
Are there things that you should be better at, Coach, in this losing streak that you aren't, that you should be better at no matter who's playing the position, no matter who's who's hurt or who's healthy, and that thing is bothering you more than anything else?
Yeah, I mean,
Defense,
yeah, definitely. That you know, other than getting questions about it, I haven't ever talked about, man, we would have played better or won this game if we didn't have injuries. You know, that plays a big part of it. You know, besides, last week we got physically beat. You know, there's no way around that. We could have did a lot of things better and executed better, and just got beat. You know, the previous 3 weeks, there's a lot of things that you look back on the film and say that you could have done this to change the outcome in one-score games. So I can't pinpoint one thing that, hey, if we do this better, we'll be winning. If anybody had those answers, we would all be, you know. But so we continue to stick to the process and do what we know, you know, works, and we got to keep coaching them up and keep working.
So what can you do if you get physically beat every week? Just recruit players that are better physically?
Yeah, I mean, I think last week was the first week that we looked up there, and when I say that, I say that, you know, obviously turn on the film and there's opportunities to get stops. You know, I mean, we play well and you know, we're fitting power and two guys fit outside the puller and he hits it inside, then you're going to get beat. And so not all of it was just physically just getting manhandled up there. I mean, we had guys that physically won one-on-ones, but it takes all 11 guys in the same spot. We missed tackles. You know, some guys, some inexperience like that, you know, when to fit, how to fit, double pullers, all that kind of stuff. They created some problems. So it wasn't. I definitely don't think that as far as saying, you know, up front, we got to recruit better. We feel like we got some good players and a lot of them, and so, you know, and offensively we just couldn't execute. You know, it's one of those things where we've got to be able to make some plays. You know, I thought up front we got out physicaled as far as our offensive line and their defensive line, and playing an odd front and kind of got after us a little bit starting from the first play. You know, we didn't block it right, and that's on us as coaches to get them coached up if they were out there doing that. So, but yeah, as far as, you know, physically, you know, getting whooped, I mean, there was things that we could have obviously done to prevent a lot of that.
One thing, I guess, when you have injuries, it changes some of the roles around. You get some young guys a chance. They have to play. They have to do more than they probably thought they were going to have to do early. So say a guy like Luke Gigling, for instance, you see him getting, you know, a lot more experience right now than you probably thought he would have, and so far so good with a guy like him.
Yeah, that's you know, obviously he plays the position, you know, Kreider, but Giegling will be playing a lot of football for us. Right. I mean, he's a starting caliber player, so that's what I mean. You see, you know, Kreider's out for the season, but Luke Giegling's playing at a high level, and Bryce Notary. Those are two good inside linebackers, and Aaron Reed's played at a, you know, a high level, probably at his best game against Youngstown, and then so that's what I mean. We'll put together and we're going to keep, you know, playing hard and putting together the scheme that we feel like gives us the best chance to win.
You know, Indiana State's going to try to run it just as much as the Redbirds did. Just how different do you look at their running back keys? He breaks a lot of tackles like Robinson, but he looks like he runs a little bit harder off the snap than Robinson's looking where he wants to go. Yeah,
you know, Robinson's pretty patient back, you know, as far as, but both of them, you know, have some similarities. He's a big back that breaks tackles, and a lot of his big runs come off of, you know, yards after contact, which is similar. So he's a good back. You know, he's a senior, and he's been there for a while, and does a lot of good things. So just a big back. We're going to have to tackle well. They'll try to line up and be physical. They've moved some offensive linemen to tight ends, and, you know, they've got guys at 300-pounders and 40s numbers, and they're going to try to run the football. And we got to do a better job this week than we did last week.
Both teams have been able to hang with teams that they've played. I think both teams only had like one blowout loss, really. But have struggled to finish. Is that something that you can just flip a switch, or is that a mentality that SIU needs to teach itself?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that you can just flip a switch. You've got to. It's a mentality. It's a focus. It's a going out there, and sometimes you just got to make those plays, and learning from the past and being in those situations, and at some point you just got to go out there and win. I don't think there's any magic formula. You just got to go out there and you got to make things happen. You can't sit back and hope it to happen, or you can't sit back and just wait on things. You got to be the aggressor. You got to go attack in those type of situations to finish a ball game. You got to have the mentality of winning, and you got to go out there and do it. And so, both teams and winning, it kind of starts to just steamroll. It breeds success, and unfortunately we haven't had a lot of them that have went our way. So you got to get one to get the next one, and then you start to learn how to win and what it feels like to win.
Does losing steamroll too, Coach?
Yeah, no doubt. Just the same way. You start to. It just does on both sides. You know what I mean? And you got to do whatever it takes to fight that and find those things to flip it. I mean, you got to find a way to at some point to say enough's enough and go out there and do it. And it's same thing with us. This is a players thing. That's what we talked about in the team meeting. This is everybody has a hand in it. We got to coach better in the second half. We got to coach better late in practices. We got to a lot of it. We got to focus for an entire 60 minutes. Sometimes we've had some which is a tough thing to do. You see, kids 18 to 22-year-old to stay locked in for an entire 60 minutes and come back out from halftime and. We've had some lapses in that, and we got to continue to coach that and try to be at our best.
You've had trouble stopping the run. Is it just some superior athletes on the other side?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we've lined up against anybody that's had more superior athletes than us. You're not going to find better athletes than some of the guys that we just named off, or Anthony Knighton or Jordan Berner or Jeremy Chin or Madre Harper. They're not out there. I mean, they're as good as anybody. So we've got to, coach them better. We got to put them in better spots. And we've got to, and at the end of the day, we've got to make some plays, and we've got to tackle better. We didn't tackle good in space. Like I talked about, we misfit some things, and when we did fit it up right, had trouble getting them down, and we got to be able to tackle.
We look at Sycamore's defense. How do you think they're going to try to attack you on Saturday?
Yeah, they're a solid defense. They're a disciplined team. They'll play some cover one and some middle of the field close stuff, cover three, blitz and bring some 6-man pressures. But they've done a good job being in the right spots, playing physical football. That's what they brought here. They've played that all over, mixed things up, and like I said, it doesn't change much week to week in this league. There's not a lot of trying to trick you. It's lining up and just playing good fundamental football, and that's what they do a good job of.
Could you talk about your quarterback play?
Yeah, last week we didn't do anything on there's obviously some throws that we wish we'd have had back in the passing game that could have maybe made a difference, and make some tough throws that are there. I thought, we go from the past 2 weeks, we haven't turned it over at all on offense, but we haven't, had much success. I thought Sam did his best job as far as taking care of the football, pulling them down. His 49 yards rushing, all of them were passes called. So he 50 yards. I think 4 of them were first down runs, which we emphasized him doing a lot. And for him to take the next step that's what he's got to continue to do. Doesn't feel good, something's not there, pull it down. He's an athletic kid. He's tough to bring down. picking up 4 or 5 yards is a positive play. And so he did that. We didn't get going at any point on offense to really talk about that. I mean, we did, hit a couple throws to Ralph, but we did not nearly enough on any phase of the offense.
When you talk to Sam, what does he say about the passing game and why it hasn't been as effective last few games? Is he all right physically besides the concussion problem?
Yeah, I mean, anybody that we put out there is physically ready to go. So,
how about the receivers? It doesn't look like they're getting open at all.
Yeah, I mean that's each game you put things out there, and we've got different guys open. I feel like Ralph's still playing at a high level. We all got to do better. I mean, anytime you have 200-something yards of offense back-to-back weeks, there's a lot of things that you can look at to do better, and starting with me. So nobody's happy in that room offensively. We got to do better. Or your job as an offense is to score points. We scored 3 points. We didn't put it in the end zone. So we could sit here all day and talk about things we could do better.
Sort of building on Gene's question at the beginning, rephrasing, is your number one job keeping your team together right now, Coach?
Yeah, I mean that's you always got to put together a team that's going to stay together and fight together, and I mean we talk about that all the time. I've talked about it probably quite a few times the last few weeks. What it's like to get beat, things don't go your way, and you got to come back and you got to keep working. You can't feel sorry for yourself, and you've got to keep fighting. That's what this game will teach you. It'll humble you real quick, right? When you feel like you're doing some things and you got all the answers, you get humbled pretty quick, and that's what this game does. It's easy to talk about it in the off seasons whenever, football teaches you about life, and, there's no greater sport, and it's in the middle of the summer and you're going and talking at clinics and everybody's feeling good. But when you're in it and you're 1-5 and it doesn't feel good, then you really learn those lessons. And it's our job as coaches to be those mentors, be honest with them. I tell them that all the time. They're not the only ones that have that gut-wrenching feel. The coaches are right there with them. This is a team thing, and but you do have to keep the core fundamental things of your program at that forefront. You have to keep challenging them as men, and you're going to win with class and you're going to lose with class. Doesn't change. You're still going to sit in the first 3 rows. You're still going to be respectful. You're still going to do everything that we talk about. We're going to lift hard. We're going to practice hard. We're going to run it off the field. We're going to have a great attitude and body language on the sideline. And that's what we'll continue to do. And it's our job as coaches to mentor that. And when you see somebody that might be slipping in that area or maybe feeling sorry for themselves, it's your job to get them out of that.
Have you lost anybody? You've got 100 guys.
Yeah, there's without a doubt. I mean, even when you're winning, you're winning and you're 6-0 right now. You got guys that are disgruntled because they're not playing. Or the life of a football coach is always that you never have 100 happy guys. Or you're always dealing with something that comes across your desk on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, on the road. There's always players that are 18 to 22 years old that, whether it's playing time or off the field issues or whatever it is. I mean, there's a lot to deal with. But no, I wouldn't say anybody that we traveled last week that wasn't in it to win it and didn't compete till the very end. There was never, and that's around. I mean, if you got those type of problems, then the kid shouldn't be on your team. I don't see much of that on film either. I mean, there wasn't a time that we put out Madre Harper on the last touchdown, passed up 2 guys to tackle him and roll in the end zone. You know what I mean? If I would have seen him jogging after that guy, 49-yard touchdown run, and he just doesn't really feel like going to get him because we're down by 35, but we didn't. He chases him down. You play to the whistle. You keep competing. And that's what we got to all continue to do. That's the only way that's going to get better. If we want to flip it around and finish this season strong, that's what I told him. I do know that if we do the other way, it is definitely not going to work. You know, this is the one we got it one choice. That's the only choice we got, and it's to keep working with a good attitude.
How has the weather affected the team? I mean, last week this time you were practicing in 90-degree weather, and now you're 4 degrees colder. It's got to be mentally jarring at least.
I mean, I haven't even really thought about it. I mean, you gotta. It's another mental thing. I mean, you got to come out and you got to be ready to go. We play football, and you play outside and you play in the elements, and the weather's going to change at some point, whether it's raining or if it's cold or if it's windy. You got to be mentally tough enough to play in all the elements.
You've had lineup changes forced upon you after getting, I think you said whooped. Do you anticipate things changing with this next week?
Well, I mean, we're putting the guys, as far as we don't have any aces in our pocket that we've just been holding, and now this guy's going to go in there. We got a few more guys that are in the concussion protocol. Malik Haynes and Tyree Jackson and Michael Elbert are all in the concussion protocol. So we'll see. All try to get back. I'm not for sure if they will or not. So all those guys got to be ready to go. That's the thing on the defensive line. We've rotated 8-9 guys have played. Someone like Devin Jones played a little bit early, has got to be ready to play a little bit more. And then, but we still got 4 or 5 guys, which a lot of teams, that's all they play with. So, and same thing at defensive end, we'll rotate those guys around and continue to have pretty good depth right there. So it's just one of those things that your depth gets tested quite a bit, and you get down the line from where you were when you started the season.
How are Mixon and Kilby coming along?
Mixon will be questionable for this game. I'd say probably more realistic from the week following. It's another one that he wants to play. He's frustrated and wants to get out there, but we've got to always default to our doctors and not if they don't feel like it's safe for him to go out there and play, then that's what we got to do. And so, he was on the trip. He was great on the sideline. He's a great teammate and wants to play. And it's really hasn't really got a season started yet. Played a half against Murray, and then 2 carries against Ole Miss, and then that's been it. He had the 4 or 5. Got hurt at South Dakota there on the swings pass, and just hasn't been able to get going. We wish he would, because he's our big physical back, and is a good player, and he's a senior. So hopefully we can get him back here for a few games to end his senior year.
Kilby's hamstring?
Yeah, and then Kilby's same thing. I mean, that we knew that might be a couple weeks. It's getting better. Now, can he go out and play 50 or 60 plays in a game? We'll have to see, how the week progresses. He was in the pool running yesterday, but those things are sometimes when they get pulled, take a little bit. So we'll just have to see how he progresses.
And why haven't, I know Davis is a great player. Why haven't you used Hampton or Nate Strong or other running backs a little bit more than you have?
DJ Hampton got his release like 4 weeks ago, and then so DJ will transfer. He did that after I think it was the Ole Miss game, and then Nate Strong wasn't on the trip last week, and so really we went into the game with 3 backs. It was Perk and DJ, and then Tremaine got in there at the end and has been doing a good job. That's one freshman that has continually gotten better throughout, just getting stronger. He's lost about 10 pounds, which we challenged him to do. He's done a great job on the scout team. So, he's a guy that here we could, we used 1 game last week, and we'll probably use those 3 other games at some point and still let him redshirt, but use those guys. Same thing with some of those other freshmen, with Javon, is you want to do what's right for the kids too at this point. Anytime you're a true freshman, you get in the middle of the season. That's been for anybody. The most successful true freshmen that I've ever been with, at some point in the middle of the semester they hit some type of wall, whether it's academically, it's off the field, fatigue. I mean, you're slapped with a lot of new stuff, and then you're counted on to play Division I football. And so, you know, we're always monitoring our guys and are going to do what's best for our guys. If you put Javon out there for some special teams reps, or if it is to put him at tailback for 4 or 5 plays, we've had those discussions. Javon could play for us, but we talked about it. He came in and talked about, you know, he was at the 4 games. So we'll see how that's why we didn't dress him last week. And because you do want to do what's right for him too. You know, it would be selfish of us to play him a little bit, and then whenever he's a true senior, wishing like, hey, I wish Javon Williams had one more year to play a full season when he's 23 years old or 22 years old. So we got to think about those things as well.
Coach, this is sort of a nerdy question. Baseball kind of lends itself to this. You talk about statistical analysis. You talk about, did you guys, you and your staff, break down the video and grade players and everything this week? Do those grades match up with getting beat 51-3?
No, I mean, there was opportunities out there to make that outcome different. You know, whether it's, once we had a couple opportunities down in the red zone or on their side of the 50 in the first half. You know, their first scoring drive, Madre picks the ball off. They call pass interference. If that's not called, I mean, he's in great position. There's a lot of things, you know what I mean? So when you grade them, there's opportunities there, you know what I mean? When you go back and say, was our plan sound? Was it good? They didn't play any different defenses than we thought that they did. Like, man, we thought they were going to do this, and we had a bunch of plays that were drawn up for a different coverage. It wasn't that, you know. It's there's a fine line between winning and losing, and when you play good teams, those things get exposed. You know, it's picking up a third down. It's the first drive. You know, we get a first down. We're going. It's 3rd and 2. We're at a point where we're at a position on the field that even if we pick up a yard, we'll go for it on 4th down. But it's a 3rd and it's short 2, really, about 1.5 yards. We lose a yard. You know, for an unblocked player, a scheme that we've ran all year, they walk down and come off the edge, should out it. We don't. They tackle us in the backfield for a 1-yard loss. We got to punt it. If you pick up the first down there and we still got the ball and we take some more time off, those are just the way the game goes, you know. And so there's always things that you're going to look at and wish that you could have got to in the game to call, but that wasn't one of those. As far as, you know, the scheme was different. We had no plan for it. They are who they are, and they just lined up and out executed us and beat us.
So I'm trying to listen to your answer. So an unblocked player, did one of your guys then get graded down for that play?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. And we go out, and on Sundays we do, we'll do corrections. So when we go out on Sunday, the first thing we do, we stretch, and then we come out as an offensive unit and we go over all the plays that we didn't run correctly. Whether that's, we might have ran the right play, but if they run a certain blitz and we've got to ID it, we didn't ID it right, we didn't get to the right spots, we'll correct that. So hopefully in the future, if that comes up, the linebacker walked up on the edge, the line should make a call to pick that up. And we were 3 for 3. We blocked 3 guys on 2 guys. 1 guy came unblocked. We got to have our head up. We got to communicate better. We got to see it, and we didn't. So those are all little things. Those happen throughout the game, and the good teams limit those. And we didn't. We got exposed on some of those things. Like I said right there, if we get that block, then it's a first down. Everything else is blocked up good, and DJ would have ran it for 4 or 5 yards and would have been first down, and we're down there. But we didn't, and got off to a bad start, and then we punted to them, and they end up going down on a long drive and scoring a touchdown.
Okay, lots of good questions. Anything else?